Okay, guys, time to suck some. Let's go! Chest! Warrior Runes. Gain a 25% bonus to physical damage down for 12 seconds after activating Blood Rage or Zerker Rage. Not bad. Not bad. For starters, flagellation. Flagellation. Let's learn some English. Meaning. What the fuck is that? Flogging or beating either as a religious discipline or for sexual gratification. So, is there a particular reason why all the warriors have to be some fucking stuff? What is this?
Sit down.
Isn't this some paladin bullshit? Flagellation? Flogging or beating either as a religious discipline or for sexual gratification. What is this? 25% damage for 12 seconds after raining blood. Not bad. Not bad, but fucking change the name. Blood Frenzy. Each time you deal bleed damage, you gain 3 rage. Not bad. Dot him up. But can I dot up? Yeah. Blood Frenzy? What the fuck is with flagellation symbol? I can't even tell. Is this like a whip or some sort? This is a castigator from Nax? I don't fucking know what it is. So we have a Gachibas rune here. We have Endless Rage from bleed damage. Blood Frenzy versus Big Burst. Flagellation versus Blood Frenzy. Each time you deal bleed damage. When do I do bleed damage? I always do bleed damage. But it's just deep wounds. No rend. Unless I'm playing... Unless. So I get 1 rage per second if I use rend. Flagellation for PvP, for PvE, and Warbringer for PvP. Well, let's look at the chest runes for warriors through the prism of applicability. Where are we gonna be using each? I'm gonna go down through the other ones as well. Raging Blow, ferocious strike that deals 100% weapon damage but can only be used while Enrage, Zerker Rage, or Blood Rage is active. Now, like I said, you have 2 abilities that a warrior has that does flat damage. That's Mortal Strike and Whirlwind. So this seems like BIS so far for leveling, if you can get it early, because you ain't got buttons to press. You're just queuing Heroic Strike. You stop queuing Heroic Strike when you get Rend. You stop using Rend when you get Sunders, but none of this does flat damage. Now you get Raging Blow. We suck so much, man. Holy fuck. Do they not love us? To me, this will make two-hander arms viable. I'm all for two-hander Fury or two-hander arms, but hello? Like, why are we weak in our first rune set for chest? And then Warbringer, your charge, intercept, or intervene abilities. Inter who? Inter what? Oh my god, imagine the attack, you turn around, sit down in front of the mob and get crit to trigger Enrage and use Raging Blow. Yup. Okay, I understand charge, I understand intercept, but we intervene abilities? We're in for a good surprise. Usable in combat and in any stance. Warbringer and intercept usable in any stance and will remove movement impairing effects when activated. BIS! BIS forever. But you're not taking anything except for Warbringer for PvP. Thank you. Finally, not a wheelchair class in PvP. Raging Blow. If we're playing... Raging Blow, bro. Now, this is gonna be a hard one. 25% bonus damage weak. Not if you wreck. Not if you wreck and go Blood Rage. This is single target BIS. This is Cleave BIS. And Ferocious Strike that deals 100 weapon damage but can only be used while Enraged, Berserker Rage, or Blood Rage active. This has had like a 12-second cooldown, I think. I think Raging Blow is for leveling the best. This is also probably the best thing to play as arms in PvE, but at the same time, bro, like how the fuck are you gonna play this as arms in PvE if you have Blood Frenzy? Because you're not gonna get much from this. You're gonna have like 3 or 4 hits if you're playing Flagellation. It would be kind of funny if warriors got all these massive hard-hitting abilities and increased damage, but we're still rage start, so the DPS sucked anyway in the end. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. When can you even fit Raging Blowjob into our raid rotation? Well, I mean, like, why the fuck not? Say you're playing arms, right? Mortal Strike 6 second, Whirlwind 10 second, and then what do you spam? You have all sounders up, and you're just fishing for Wind Fury procs with Hamstring. Now the Raging Blowjob begins. I just think we are gonna have Raging Blow serve the purpose of leveling, while you do not have access to the abilities that do actually hit. My question is, does the Ferocious Strike cost Rage? It seems like it shouldn't, because it's a 12-second cooldown, And there are 3 conditions when it can be used. Flagellation is huge. You rotate use of Berserker Rage and Blood Rage to keep it up. It's almost a perma 25% bonus output. That is like giga. I think Flagellation is best for PvE. Blood Frenzy, probably early stages whenever you don't have that much flat damage to multiply it by 25% damage overall. Flagellation. So say like if you're sitting like in the crap 60 gear, then you want to go Blood Frenzy. If you're dual wielding, right? You want to go Blood Frenzy if you have Biz gear, or like when your gear gets better, then you have already flat damage to multiply. Next, legs. Furious Thunder. Thunderclap now increases the time between attacks by an additional 6 seconds and can be used in any stance. Weird champ, but I guess, unless we don't have anything better for a tank. By the way, with regards to tank, what the fuck do we use as a tank here? Charge Intercept. Could be good, I guess. But as a tank, actually, like, I don't know, Warbringer, I guess. Raging Blow as tank could be an option actually, because we're not gonna have no bleeds as a tank. So Raging Blow to build the initial threat. It does look terrible. It's like leveling angle and it's a tanking angle. Also Warbringer for a tank could be good to handle and control the pack better if you have shit running loose. Furious Thunder. Thunderclap increases the time between attacks by an additional 6%. Good if your group is whack and you need like that for, I guess, mitigation fights, then sure. But I don't think that this is gonna be huge with shit gear. Flagellation when you have Raging Blow with bad gear, Flagellation with better gear. When you do have rage to spend. Warrior already seems meh, Tommy. Okay, you don't really need to like shove it in my face. I already see it. Let's just keep our hopes up because now we're moving on to legs. Please pay attention that out of all classes so far that we have reviewed, Warrior is in first class to only have 3 runes that go on the leg place. On the leg slot. Need I say more? Only fucking 3. How? Everybody has 4. Why I get 3? One of them is fucking Dune's game already. Thunderclap increases the fucking duration between attacks. What am I fighting Patchwork from like at level 25 that I need this shit? Consumed by Rage. On to the next one. Enrages you and grants you 25% melee damage bonus for 12 seconds for optimum 12 swings after you exceed 80 Rage. Consumed by Rage. Wow, so every time you drop below 80 Rage and then go back again, you just stay enraged perma. This is huge for raids. Damn, but you need some gear. Titan's Grip at 60, grab double BREs and get a 20% attack speed buff turbo. I fucking hate Titan's Grip. I hope nothing like happens with them introducing it to Season of Destruction. Frenzied Assault. While wielding two-handed weapons, your attack speed is increased by 20%. Fuck yes. Now, oof. Isn't this a sexy one? God fucking damn it, man. That will never be picked. This will always be picked in PvP. Ain't no way I'm having 80 Rage in PvP. Ain't no way I'm using Thunderclap in PvP. Frenzied Assault? I'm bonking somebody on the head more often. Never that not... This is always... Never not be picked? Oh, this one... Okay, Azu, I'll shut the fuck up now. Do you want to sit down and stream? I'll just like go watch from the back at this point. Because I cannot read for shit. Frenzied Assault. This will be given up as a Fury Warrior though. If you're playing Arms or 200 Fury... Dude, I really want to try 200 Fury DPS. That is gonna be fun. You can't pick Consumed by Rage anyway. Why not? Well, if you're sitting in a raid environment level 60 as Fury, you're going this, right? If we're talking about Arms, then sure, Frenzied Assault. If you're talking 200 Fury, then sure, this one too. At level 25, it's hard to get uptime on Consumed by Rage. Yeah, for sure, it's not gonna be a factor, 100%. But if you're playing Fury at 25 for some reason, then, I mean, you're going Consumed by Rage regardless. And you're just stacking the first 80 Rage. You're not using spells at start. Let's go down below. So Frenzied Assault, Arms PvP, Consumed by Rage, Fury PvE, and game, most likely Furious Thunder. I don't even know if I'll pick this as a prot. If I prot, I'll go Consumed by Rage, and I'm not even gonna have Rage ever at like 80. Furious Thunder it is. Fuck, man. Like this fucking sucks. This sucks. Legs suck. Oh, we got 5 gloves. 5 gloves runes. Holy shit, that's what I'm talking about. Victory Rush. Instantly attack the target causing a ratatatata. So now we can actually level without leveling First Aid. Not bad. We're using this up until level 25, then we're switching this shit. Endless Rage. You generate 25% more rage from all the damage you deal. Don't mind if I do. Devastate. While you're in defensive stance and have a shield equipped, Sunder Armor deals 100% weapon damage. Increases by 10% per application of Sunder Armor already on the target. Stop for a second. Endless Rage plus 3 Rage Bleed. It's not gonna affect the bleed, because this is not derived from the damage that you deal, but rather from the bleed that you apply, right? So we will have Endless Rage just give you more rage from the flat damage output that you have with auto attacks. So Flagellation all the way. The Sexual Rune here. And this one for whenever you're poorly geared. I don't see Blood Friend. You gain 3 rage. This could be OP if you use Rend. And if you're playing arms. To some extent. We'll have to test it out. We are dropping Flagellation and Raging Blow and we going Blood Frenzy if we're playing arms with good gear. With more or less like okay gear even. Stop. Okay, so Devastate. We get Devastate, which is kind of hot. Tank build, we go. Victory Rush, if we're leveling, we go here. Endless Rage. Generate more rage from all the damage you deal. Absolute best for PvE, PvP, whatever the fuck. You know, unless you're a tank or unless you're leveling. Single-Minded Fury. When dual wielding, your physical damage and movement speed are increased by 10%. Ooh. If I'm playing a Fury Warrior and I'm going between Endless Rage and Single-Minded Fury, 25% more rage from all the damage I deal versus 10% more damage done. Devastate makes Sword and Board viable, it's nuts. Yeah, actually, I kind of forgot that we're Fury prodding for the most part, right? Single-Minded with Sexual Rune and... Fucking hell, are we actually gonna call it a Sexual Rune now? Single-Minded with Sexual Rune and Endless Rage with Consumed by Rage. I do think that Single-Minded Fury takes over, again, if we are rocking good gear, versus for starters we go Endless Rage whenever we need it. That's about it, until we stop having issues with Rage Gen. And we're sitting just spamming Heroic Strike, perma. Then like we go into Single-Minded. The fuck was the Sexual Rune? Oh, it's just the first rune that the warrior has, is Flagellation. If you Google Flagellation, we just wanted to understand the meaning of it, because that's a new word.
Flagellation.
Sorry, Flagellation, that's better. So, flogging or beating, either as a religious discipline or for sexual gratification. So, flagellation.
Flagellation.
T-I-L, today I learned. This is now considered the sexual rune. Easier to pronounce. Single-Minded Fury. Whenever you're stacked as fuck, you go Single-Minded. Endless Rage whenever you're a little bitch boy and you cannot generate no rage. Quick Strike, what the fuck is this? A reckless instant melee attack with your two-handed weapon dealing flat damage. This ability benefits from all triggers. Wait, this ability benefits from and triggers all effects associated with Heroic Strike. Did somebody understand what we just read? Am I like stupid or like what the fuck is this Quick Strike? A reckless instant melee attack with your two-handed weapon dealing physical damage, like that is flat. That is already a big no-no. A two-hander with a flat damage that is not modified by your weapon speed or your damage range. That sounds like you're casting Bloodthirst when you're playing with a two-hander. The ability benefits from and triggers all effects associated with Heroic Strike. The first feeling, what I'm getting, the first vibe I'm getting from this ability is whiz! It's a Heroic Strike with bonus physical damage. That's how I see it. It's a auto attack plus Heroic Strike plus 83 physical damage. That is an instant ability. It's not an auto attack. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying the damage that is built. Quick Strike damage disintegrated into parts is your auto attack plus Heroic Strike damage plus 50 to 83 physical damage. It's weapon damage plus 50 plus 83. If we're talking about leveling, then Quick Strike could be a thing. Victory Rush could be a thing, or a Quick Strike. You will have other runes. Deeper you go into the game, you will be able to find new ones and new ones. The ones that they announce here are just like pre-level 25. So what do we have here? Mage Runes. Let's see. Increase your spell critical strike chance, and you can only have one rune applied per slot. So mages will have increase your spell critical strike chance with all spells by 15%, but your non-periodical spell critical strikes now have an additional mana cost of 1% of your base mana. They're giving them 15% crit chance? But your non-periodic spell critical strikes now have an additional mana cost of 1% of your base mana. The fuck? 1% mana if you critical strike, but you have a 15% higher chance to crit. How can you even like choose anything else as a mage, except for burnout? Dude, that is fucking nuts. In Classic, 15% chance. Can't crit anymore because out of mana? I don't think that's gonna be the issue, it's 1%. Yeah, I was thinking more in terms of will they make Hunter healers with level 30? Oh, nah. Hey, maybe yes, we don't know what the runes are. So it's not like we're not gonna rule anything out just now. Okay, so you can have 15% higher fucking spell critical strike chance as a mage. So probably like Biss until we see something else. Give you chill effects, 15% chance to grant you Fingers of Frost, which treats your next 2 spells cast as if the targets were frozen last 15 seconds. Like Fingers of Frost is gonna be specifically PvP, chest rune. Your PvP option if you're playing a mage, Fingers of Frost. Burnout seems to be like the PvE thing, and you screaming Innervate on druids? I don't even know like what kind of level Innervate is. Do druids even have Innervate before 25? I don't think so. It's probably starting somewhere later in the game. Yeah, Burnout is still great for PvP too. It's probably you're going to be playing Frost, so you would probably want to benefit from that first. Level 40, okay, that's a little bit later. Spell crit chance by 15%. That's huge for PvP. This is like a very circumstantial skill. Is it worth it in comparison to spell critical chance with all spells increased by 15%? This can offer a little bit of a burst, but this has such a fucking big sustained output. Jesus fucking Christ. Why even play Finger of Frost for the shatter chance when you can just play Burnout for flat percent everything? That's what I'm thinking. Like, are there any mages in chat who would right now pick Fingers of Frost over Burnout, considering how much you benefit from the target being frozen in Classic? It doesn't seem like that much, and you can freeze the target. Actually, like you could actually find really good opportunities in PvP for it. This is just straight up a PvP boy. I really want to understand all these options because once Season of Discovery starts, I perhaps wanted to play something other than a Zug. Like, I mean, my second alt is going to be a warrior. My third alt is going to be a warrior prot. Second alt is going to be Fury warrior, and my main is going to be arms. But my fourth is probably going to be a two-hander Fury. So my fifth is gonna be maybe a mage, a gnome mage. So I'm thinking I'm gonna like read up on this shit before I continue. But at some point, I wanna get to a place where I start playing other classes in WoW. Regeneration, a third one. Heal the target for 500 HP over 3 seconds and applies Temporal Beacon for 30 seconds. Records the subject's space and time position, 100% of all... Why is it doing this? Is this some lore shit? Records the subject's space-time position. 100% of all arcane damage done by the castle will be converted to chronomantic... and divided among the caster's current temporal beacons targets. Okay, this is some lore stuff, but this is actual effect of the spell. It doesn't really affect it. This is not practical, this is just literature. Right there. Records the subject's space and time position. It's because you're a chronomancer, so they're like giving you some shit. For the next 30 seconds, you're healing the targets, but what is the cooldown on regeneration? It doesn't have a cooldown. If this does not have a cooldown, then the mage can come and like heal whole BRD. Enlightenment. Fourth mage chest rune. You deal 10% more damage while you have more than 70% mana. While you below 30% mana, 10% of your mana regeneration continues while casting. Don't see an application for this one. Burnout. You permanently choose Burnout as a mage in Season of Destruction. What? In Season of Degeneracy. Discovery, man. Holy fuck. Burnout. 15% chance. This is your go-to talent to PvE. This is the PvP one. This is the healing one. Enlightenment. Absolutely fucking no one is taking Enlightenment. I'm not a mage, but I'll talk for all the mages. On behalf of all the mages, we're not playing Enlightenment. On behalf of all the gnome mages, we ain't playing this shit. Icy Veins. Legs enchants now. Hastens your spellcasting, increasing your spellcasting speed by 20% and reduces the pushback suffering from damaging attacks while casting by 100%. Big PvP talent. Icy Veins, PvP. Fingers of Frost, PvP. Arcane Surge. Unleash all of your remaining mana in a surge of energy focused at the target, dealing 95 to 111 arcane damage, increased by up to 300% based on your remaining mana. Okay, so 100% mana is gonna give you 300% bonus increase. So 1% mana equals 3% damage. So if you're casting this at a 50% mana, you're gonna get a 150% boost to this ability. That's what it seems like. Quick maths. Afterward, your normal mana regeneration is activated and increases by 300% for 8 seconds. That's a nice one. I'm not really sure if Arcane Mage is going to be something for PvE though. You tag people with regeneration as a mage, and then you start healing with all the arcane damage that you're doing. Ah, that's what it is. Heal all the target's party members within 15 yards of target players for 262 health over 3 seconds, and applies Temporal Beacon to each target. This has a big cooldown. Most likely we don't see what it is. Healing rune on chest and legs is the same, right? They copied it. Chest and legs. This is a single target regeneration that you have to boop, boop, apply to 4 targets, and then do arcane damage, and you're just healing everybody. Mass regeneration is your big cooldown whenever you want to apply these things to 4 targets at the same time, and then you just like do the healing. You can throw this in, I guess. It's gonna stack with the individual heal, I bet. Mass regeneration, unless it has a different effect, but this should be stacking with the individual one, like the first initial burst of healing. And the last one is Living Flame. Summons a spellfire flame that moves towards the target, leaving a trail of spellfire. This trail deals 42 spellfire damage every second to nearby enemies, lasts 20 seconds. Living Flame. So Icy Veins seems like the best ability for PvE that the mage is gonna have so far. Living Flame is probably best if you're like up against... if you're in a dungeon or in an environment where there's a shitload of trash. Now we got gloves. Rewind time. Your current target with your temporal beacon instantly heals all damage taken over the last 5 seconds, ineffective on targets that did not have a temporal beacon 5 seconds ago. Oh shit. This is a giga heal. An insane heal. This is probably insane for PvP too. Living Bomb. The target becomes a living bomb, taking 142 fire damage over 12 seconds. After 12 seconds, or when the spell is dispelled, the target explodes, dealing 75 damage. An Arcane Blast. Blast the target enemy with arcane damage. Each time you cast Arcane Blast, the damage and healing of all other arcane spells is increased by 15%. The mana cost of Arcane Blast is increased by 175%. Damn! By 175%? Effect stacks up to 4 times and lasts 6 seconds or until any other arcane damage or healing spells. Mages now can go full arcane in PvE as well. Holy shit. You have the option to go arcane because of this. This is healing. I kind of like the fact that there's no runes that are breaking insane, like the insanely immersive breaking runes for mages. So mages do look fine. I honestly just think like Burnout is so fucking broken. Like 15, you get 15% crit chance. That is the value of like multiple pieces from Nex. Like what are other classes getting away with if mages have 15% crit chance? I'm pretty sure like gloves are very straightforward. This is just like a per spec approach. Whereas here you have room to play. Arcane is now a healing spec? Not necessarily, because you do have Arcane Surge and you have Arcane Blast, which is gonna be hands down the hardest single target damaging ability that is gonna be used in raids. So I guess nobody's gonna be playing anything but Arcane in raids from now on. If they can support casting that shit, because if you cast Arcane Blast 4 times, your 5th one is gonna cost 700% more mana. Bring 24 healing mages and solo bosses? Yeah. Onto the Druids. Living Seed. When you critically heal your target with any healing spell, you plant a Living Seed on the target for 30% of the amount healed. Okay. The Living Seed will bloom when the target is next attacked. Last 15 seconds. Pre-heal somebody before combat. Okay. Chest. Yeah, four chest runes. Wild Strikes. While you are in cat form, bear form, or dire bear form, party members within 20 yards gain increased combat ferocity. Each melee has, so basically Wind Fury, 20% chance of granting the attacker an extra attack with 20% additional attack power. But it feels super wrong to take away Wind Fury effect from Shamans and giving it to Ferals. They should have given Ferals some sort of like, there's a chance your attack might hit with, say, not a 20% chance, but perhaps with a 10% chance, but it's gonna be like having a bigger effect, so at least like the effects are different. But then again, like then on Horde you could stack those effects. You want to have a similar, like, you know, playing field here. I don't know why though. It doesn't work with Totem. Yes, like this one doesn't, but at the same time it's kinda just doesn't really feel like something a druid should possess. Maybe, I don't know, like this is like what the assimilation of classes looks like is right here. But at the same time, if you want to do it differently, then Horde is going to be affected by a new different passive that the Ferals are going to get. You know what I mean? PvE wise, so far I assume mages will be top. I think if mages get fed mana at level 60, there's nothing that is going to outpump an Arcane Blast. Fury of the Storm Rage. Reduces the mana cost of Wrath by 100%, and each time you deal damage with Wrath, you have 12% chance for your next cast of Healing Touch within 15 seconds to be instant. So Fury of Storm Rage, big PvP talent. Reduce the mana cost of Wrath by 100%. I mean, maybe it's like even a healing talent if you want to go more DPS as a druid. Survival of the Fittest. Reduce the chance you'll be critically hit by melee attacks by 6%, reduce all damage taken. Okay, it's Survival of the Fittest is just like straight up a tank piece. So if you're playing a Feral, you can either go Bear Tank, or you can go Cat DPS utility, and this is going to be a healer that wants to pump out more damage. This is going to be a healer for mitigation, big mitigation patchwork fights. Storm Mage seems insane for any healer or balance. Yeah, you're just going to be having more input there. Next, Healing Touch. That is fucking crazy because it incentivizes you to do damage while at the same time to like improvise your healing at the same time. So the fight is not like too difficult, then Fury of Stormrage is best. I mean, there's nothing better there. Living Seed. Living Seed is the only thing that is just gonna be like on the toughest boss fights you go Living Seed. Everywhere else you go just resort to Fury of the Stormrage. I think Wind Fury Totem is gonna get changed as well to assimilate with Wild Strikes. 20% additional attack power versus Wind Fury Totem flat 300. It's either gonna be like assimilated, so these two effects are the same. Survival of the Fittest, Big Tank Boy. And now on to legs, Star Surge. Launch Surging Stellar Energies cause big arcane damage. Star Surge benefits from the triggers most talents and effects that trigger or benefit from Wrath or Starfire. Dude, like I'm so bad at druids, I have no fucking clue what can it actually trigger or not. Can Chill let druids Wind Fury put down Agility Totem for the hunter? I'm not really sure because it seems like the Ferals Wild Strikes are gonna be sucking dick compared to Wind Fury. Reduce the global cooldown on your rejuvenation life bloom abilities by 0.5 seconds and you gain the life bloom ability. What the fuck? Life bloom heals the target for over 7 seconds. When life bloom completes its duration or is dispelled, the target instantly heals for 91 and the druid regains half of the cost of the spell. I can't remember how effective druids were in Classic, but this surely seems like it's gonna make him kind of fucking nuts. I remember Paladins being giga in terms of heals, probably because of the mana pool, but not so much for the druids. All of this is good for a druid, but I don't see anything that's going to be fixing their mana so far. This is what the druid is getting. More healing, Life Seed on the chest rune. Reduce the mana cost of Wrath, so you can cast Wrath and sometimes get a proc on instant heal. Still gonna cost fucking mana. Life Bloom is gonna consume more mana. So far, I mean, it's pretty much looking like Town. They'll probably get some mana juice. Probably should, but just not pre-25 as we're seeing right now. Charge to target within 13 yards and bash the target's skull and dropping spellcasting, preventing a spell. Okay. Finishing move that increases physical damage down by 30% while in cat form, less longer per combo point. Savage Roar. Actual huge buff for Feral DPS. Dude, you weaken the target for 34 seconds? Ooh. That sounds fucking good. Only affects you though. Only you and only you and cat. Some Feral DPS. I'm trying to kind of slowly remind myself if at some point in time did we have Feral DPS in Classic? Because I cannot recall for shit seeing Ferals in my raids. What about Sunfire? Oh, Sunfire's gloves. Okay, so we're done here. Burns the enemy to 65 nature damage and then an additional 110 damage over 12 seconds. In addition, while in bear form, cat form, dire form, your Moonfire is replaced with Sunfire. This spell benefits from all triggers or effects associated with Moonfire. Jesus fuck. So, I mean, Ferals are getting it, man. Ferals are getting armed up to the fucking teeth. Casting Sunfire too. Like, I don't think they could cast Moonfire in cat form in Classic. I'm not even sure if that's a TBC thing. I remember in retail they can. Lacerate. Lacerate the enemy target, making them bleed 42 over 15 seconds, plus 20% weapon damage per existing application of Lacerate on the targets. If you're playing a druid in Classic, is the only thing that you're using is a two-hander staff. Because if this is a weapon damage, then I guess like if you're playing a bear, you want to be rocking a big two-hander, right? I don't know fucking shit about druids, man, but it seems like you want to be rocking a big two-hander juicer. Lacerate. Dude, oh, Lacerate is a big boy thing, man. Holy fuck. That is so good. You can just like last, like all the mobs get like the threat up, and all of them are bleeding too. Oh, dude. Weapon doesn't matter, your paws, claws, weapon damage? Huh? It says plus 20% weapon damage. It's gonna be sourcing the weapon damage from the weapon that you're using. Am I wrong? Are you telling me that if you're in bear form, it doesn't take into account your weapon? It takes into the account like your attack power. Fair weapons are claws. Yes, so what is the stat that's gonna be sourcing the 20% weapon damage from for Lacerate? Is it gonna be attack power? Regardless, I think you're using a two-hander as a feral. Wild Growth. Heal all the target party members within 15 yards of targets over 7 seconds. The amount healed is applied quickly at first, and then slows down as Wild Growth reaches its full duration. Giga. Mangle. Is there an alternative that you would want as a resto druid? Big no. On gloves? Nah, they're just like Wild Growth. Mangle. Mangle the target for 160% normal damage and cause the target to take 30% additional damage from bleed effects and shred for 1 minute. The ability benefits from all triggers. Whew. Wait a second. 30% additional damage from bleed effects and shred for 1 minute? As the arms thing. Yeah, but the arms thing is in TBC, isn't it? It's not here. So they get this before we do. Huh. A quick little recap of druids. Living Seed. If you're a resto, you go mitigation. If you need bonus healing, you go living seed. If not, you go for more damage as a healer. Fury of the Storm Rage. Reduce the mana cost of Wrath. Wild Strikes if you need util and you don't have a Wind Fury in the group. And aside from that, what would you go as a feral DPS though? That is the question. If you have a, I think you primarily go for Wild Strikes. But if you have a Shaman in your group, you would go Survival of the Fittest as a feral. You could also run Wild Strikes and the Shaman could be prioritizing Agility Totem at the same time. If you're a feral DPS, you go Wild Strikes pretty much all the time, pre-25 at least. Then Star Surge, just if you're playing balance, then you go Star Surge, Life Bloom, obviously Resto, Skull Bash if you're PvPing. This is feral DPS. What if you're tanking? What if you're tanking and you have all of this? You probably go with the charge. Charge to a target within 13 yards and bash the target's skull, interrupting spellcasting, preventing any spell in that skull from being cast for 2 seconds. Why does it not say that you are switching into a certain form, such as a bear? Sunfire as a tank? We didn't get... Hey! That's gloves! Zip! Slow down! Talking about legs here. 4 of these. Star Surge, Balance, Life Bloom, Resto, Skull Bash, PvP or Tank, because I think this is gonna be sending you into a bear form. I think it doesn't switch. You wanna tell me that a druid can charge in human form and interrupt the spell? That's shit. Ain't no fucking night elf gonna be interrupting my ass. Charging me on bare fucking 2 foot. It's just not specified, but I think this spell has to be completed by saying either a cat or bear form. Savage Roar. This is for feral DPS, obviously. Gloves, Sunfire. Big. I don't know, you're saying bear, Sunfire? Why would you drop Lacerate? Lacerate seems like the best thing to control packs and to build threat if you need this shit. Mangle is OP for damage output, Lacerate, Biz for threat, Sunfire. I don't think you could ever trade Mangle for Sunfire as a bear, from the looks of it. Mangle, big dick, Lacerate, smaller dick, but you could stack up the bleed 5 times and like have a really good threat. Sunfire? Why would you take Sunfire here as a bear tank out of these 4 options? It seems like the worst whiz idea. To pull? Just fucking use the gun. Oh my god. You're gonna use a spell to pull? The fuck? Have you not been to Ironforge? Learn a fucking gun. Gun as a feral? How the fuck is that not making sense? Okay, so giving Wind Fury Totem to a feral is fine, but once I'm starting to talk about fucking putting a laser on a bear, that's out of this world? Well, how is laser bears not in the same genre as a Wind Fury on a feral? On to the next one. Void Plague. What the fuck is that? Priest is probably the furthest thing from me personally, like ever. I don't know what is further, maybe Druid and a Paladin, but like Priest, Druid, and the Paladin, I can barely see them on the horizon. That's how often I play those classes. Void Plague afflicts the target with a disease that causes 116 shadow damage over 18 seconds. They're literally giving an option on a chest that is a simple dot. So far, if you were to choose how boring a rune is, this is like a 1 out of 10. You get a dot. Cool. Serendipity, chest. Healing with Flesh Heal reduces the cast time of your next lesser heal. Heal, greater heal, or prayer of healing by 20% for 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Big. Strength of the Soul. Lesser heal, heal, greater heal, and flesh heal reduces the remaining duration of weakened soul on targets they healed by 4 seconds. Ooh. Now, what the fuck are you picking, healers? Any priest in the chat? What is your pick? To me, it seems like mitigation fights, you go Strength of the Soul. If there's a boss that is hitting like a motherfucking truck, you go Strength of Soul. If there's a lot of sustained damage, you go Serendipity. Okay, wait, Twisted Faith. Mind Flay and Mind Blast deal 20% increased damage to targets afflicted by a Shadowborn Pain. Well, yeah. Oh! Question. Void Plague is just a dot. Twisted Faith is burst. Not even burst, it's just like 20% damage output compared to Void Plague. So unless there's something that is making your dots hit like a fucking truck, unless there's other runes that are going to be multiplying the damage over time, then Twisted Faith it is. You're a Shadow Priest, you're going for this one. You're in a big boss fight, like I think Patchwork, you're going for Strength of Soul. And if you're going Serendipity if you're just up against a big sustain, like Temple fight. Can Void Plague proc some shit? Yeah, we have to see what kind of like mechanics and systems does it tie in with for this to be even relevant in comparison to Twisted Faith. So I'm gonna move on from chest runes to legs. Keep in mind in Classic only Undead have the Devouring Plague, so imagine they have 1 more dot, 16 million dots they put on you. Yeah, but like why would you care about dots at this point if you have like bigger Mind Flay and Mind Blast by 20%? I'm not even sure like the this is gonna be outweighing it. By no means, unless you cannot really stand still and like cast for some reason. Maybe in PvP, you would not go for Twisted Faith because it requires you to stay still all the time, and Mind Flay, you're not really getting that much uptime. I think Void Plague PvP, Twisted Faith PvE, Strength of Soul, big absorb fight, big mitigation, serendipity, other cases. That's for chess so far. Okay, let's go legs. Power Word Barrier. Summons a Holy Barrier to protect all party members at the target location for 10 seconds, reducing all damage taken by 25% or preventing damage from delaying spellcasting. Okay, is Power Word Barrier essentially is this a dome? Is it not? It seems like the area of effect dome. That's so overkill for Classic, not gonna lie. But you gotta realize for now, you're only picking 3 of these options per class. It is way too much for a Classic mindset that we have, since we have been playing this game for 20 years and now we have to get adjusted. Every single fucking class against us is gonna have 3 more spells. I was actually thinking about this yesterday on my walk. I thought, would it not be better for you to have not all new spells, but certain spells that would replace existing ones as an option? So you would sacrifice, say, Immortal Strike, hypothetically, but you would sacrifice Immortal Strike for like a potential Blade Storm. Have like some more alternatives, but not essentially add more buttons to Classic. And I was thinking primarily also these runes could benefit like from passive effects rather than active ones. Classic already has enough buttons with the amount of consumes and with the amount of unused items that we actually have. Maybe some classes actually could benefit from more active ones, sure, because there's some one-button classes. But from PvP perspective, for example, knowing how rage-starved warrior can be, me having more buttons is not gonna help me with much. Passives would actually play a big role for me personally. Yeah. Like I'm saying, Shadow Bolt, Frost Bolt, one-button classes could benefit from some, but not all of them. Okay, so we have Dome as a big defensive cooldown for healers. Shared Pain. Your Shadow Word Pain now also inflicts up to 2 additional nearby targets within 15 yards. Ooh, you start cleaving. Cleave passive. Homunculi is something that is fucking, I don't know, we'll see. I guess this sounds good, but at the same time, Homunculi is next. Break off splinters of your soul to animated 3 miniature copies of yourself that attempt to attack your current target with a mace, sword, and axe, reducing the attack speed, attack power, and armor, respectively, of any target they hit. I was looking at, I watched this and I saw this at BlizzCon. I guess this is gonna be the to go to 100% for PvP, for dueling, that is. There's nothing else you would actually pick. This is straight up a PvP spec, a super fun ability, and I think it's just also something that we haven't seen in any other games. I don't think this is a borrowed power from any of the expansions. I think Homunculi is like a unique thing that they actually... The first unique item, the first unique active that we actually see here, aside from maybe the Mage's cast over here, from the Mage's Living Flame. I don't think this has been introduced in the game either, right here. The talent that's from Mop? Okay, I haven't played Mop, so I wouldn't know. Okay, so it's actually sourced from an expansion as well. Ginger Priest will not have this spell. Well, as a Ginger Priest, you still have other 3 options you can settle for. Even if you cannot actually break off splinters of your soul because you don't have one. It's fine. You still have like Power World Shield, so just roll with another defensive. It's fine. Barrier versus Pom. I think Pom for dungeons, Barrier for raid. Pom for BGs, Homunculi for PvP. Shared Pain for just Shadow Priest, whenever the fuck. Prayer of Mending, probably dungeons, and the easy raids. Power Word Barrier, whenever you have a slapper in the encounter. Gloves. Penis. Launch a volley of holy light at the target, causing holy damage to the enemy and healing an ally instantly and every 2 seconds. Cool. Mind Seer, on to the next one. Causes an explosion of shadow magic around the target, causing 30 shadow damage every 1 second for 5 seconds to all enemies within 10 yards around the target. Shadow Priests are getting a shitload of fucking AoE capabilities. Holy fuck. Circle of Healing. Healing all targets within 15 yards of the target. Okay. Shadow Word Death. A word of dark binding that inflicts shadow damage to the target. If the target is not killed by Shadow Word Death, the caster takes damage equal to the damage inflicted upon the target. Circle of Healing seems... I mean, I guess you go... I don't even fucking know. You already... At this point, you already have so many things that can heal. Circle of Healing Raid. Penance also raid. I'm not even sure if Circle of Healing... Yeah, Circle of Healing is gonna be big. I guess like easy encounters you go Penance. Circle of Healing, big raid, Mind Seer. Shadow Word Death, perma PvP option. That's like a given. Mind Seer, Shadow Priest PvE. Alright, I mean, this over here, honestly, I didn't understand the gloves setup. Circle of Healing, I have no clue if this is gonna be better than Penance. If the circle has a cooldown, you go penance. If it doesn't, circle. I think Circle of Healing will not have a cooldown. It will just be a very mana consuming spell. Probably like if you have enough healing, then you just drop Circle of Healing and go like more dips with penance. Lake of Fire. Warlock Runes. Chest. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Locks. This is probably gonna be my second alt after my first 3 warriors. Laka of Fire. Rain of Fire also leaves a Lake of Fire on the ground and increases all fire damage you deal and your demon pets deal to afflicted enemies by 40% for 15 seconds. Only affects you and your demons. Your demons in Classic don't do jack shit for damage, if I remember correctly. Master Channeler. Your drain life is no longer channeled. The fuck? Lasts 15 seconds with a 15-second cooldown, costs 100% more mana, and heals you for 50% more each time it deals damage? How are we beating Snuts in Season of Discovery tournament? That is gonna happen 6 months in. Whenever this motherfucker can now heal without casting it. Soul Siphon. Increase the amount of drained by your drain life and drain soul spells by an additional 6% for each of your Warlock shadow effects afflicting the target, up to maximum of 18% additional effect. Drain life, drain soul, increase the amount of drained by your drain life and drain soul spells by an additional 6%. Yikes. Soul Siphon, whiz. I don't see like the usage of this. Master Channeler, big PvP, Lake of Fire. If you're playing with through the fire spec, big. Soul Siphon, increase the amount drained by your drain life and drain soul spells by an additional 6%. Let's say by an additional 18%. This, I don't see a big applicability by this one. Do you? Do you see where you use this one? I want to hear Warlocks, what they have to say. On behalf of Warlocks who are not voicing their opinions on Soul Siphon, I'm saying worst in slot on this one over here. I'm a Warlock main, Cayenne, no. Demonic Tactics, increase the melee and spell critical strike chance of you and your pet by 10%. Critical strike chance in Classic on your dots as a Warlock? So probably not as an Infliction Warlock, but Demonic Tactics. You're gonna be casting Shadow Bolt and your pet is gonna be casting some shit. Dasterlock with Chaos Bolt, true. Melee and critical strike spell chance of you and your pet, holy shit. I mean, Demonic Tactics is that's what you go as a tank. Lake of Fire in MC and BWL, yeah, good luck. Mass Shadow Bolt, what an amazing spell. You know, I actually, the first thing that I noticed is whenever they added Mass Shadow Bolt to Warlocks, I thought, dude, what a fucking genius idea. If they took mobs in the open world and sourced some of the spells that attribute well to a certain class. Because we did have like some skeletal mages or skeletal warlocks in, I don't know where. I don't think it's Scholomance, but somewhere else that would cast Shadow Bolt Volley. And you'd think like, god fucking damn it, as a Warlock I would like to have that. Yeah, Kazakh, exactly. I don't remember which game it is. I think this was some sort of either RPG or an MMO where you would get the abilities that the bosses would use against you upon killing them. So after you kill the boss, you would actually get the ability as a sort of rune that you could imprint in yourself. I don't remember what game that was, but that was such a cool concept. That you could actually defeat somebody, seeing the boss cast a particular spell, like a thunderstorm or whatever the fuck, or like some certain chains, and you like looking that like, holy fuck, that looks good. Then you kill the boss and you're like, now I can use the same shit that he used against me. I remember playing Titan Quest back in the day. Maybe that was Titan Quest. Elden Ring, I am the blade. I haven't played Elden Ring yet. I'm still yet to play it. But that was a really good concept. And them taking like some open world mobs that we have in Classic right now, or like even TBC, and then just like giving some of these abilities to the classes that fits is a really good concept. Like Shadow Bolt Volley is one example. We're gonna get to the point where we're gonna see what makes a Warlock tank. It's one of the runes. So okay, we went through the chest slots. Legs, Everlasting Affliction, Drain Life, Drain Soul, Shadow Bolt, Shadow Cleave. Shadow Cleave is whenever you go into a metamorphosis, you go from casting Shadow Bolt, it turns into a Shadow Cleave, so it becomes a melee cleave ability. Searing Pain, Incinerate, and Haunt refresh the duration of your corruption on the target back to its maximum duration. What the fuck? I guess it's like okay, but it's not like a super broken rune. Yeah, it's nasty in PvP, but I mean, might as well just reapply it by pressing one global. So I'm not really sure that this is like such a ground-changing one. Incinerate. Burn your enemy to 96, 100 damage, and increase all fire damage you deal by 25% for the next 15 seconds. Oh, you do have Incinerate, so Lake of Fire with single target might work? Yeah. Depends on like, if you do Lake of Fire and then Incinerate, do you still have the ability to cleave? Mechanical wise, you casting Rain of Fire just to enable the 40% damage increase from fire damage to use on a single target by spamming Incinerate feels kind of off that you have like to precast Rain of Fire because of that. Because only Rain of Fire enables it. Also leaves Lake of Fire on the ground that increases all fire damage you take. It feels off, like you channel for a second, then cancel, and then you start casting single target. Metamorphosis is gloves. We're gonna go through legs right now. Demonic Grace. Surge with fell energy, increasing your pets and your own dodge chance by 30%, and your chance to critical strike with all attacks by 30%. Last 6 seconds. Okay, so big defensive cooldown as a tanking Warlock. Demonic Pact. Your pet critical strikes apply Demonic Pact effect to your party members within 45 seconds. Demonic Pact increases spell damage and healing by 15%. Of your spell damage by 13, whichever is higher. Does not work on subjugated demons. One of the Warlocks in your raid, in your dungeon, is going to be going Demonic Pact here. I assume, unless he's fire, then that's Incinerate. Demonic Grace, unless he's a tank. So this is like a self-understanding one. Demonic Pact is the one that you want to have for utility, same as Wild Strikes as a feral. Now gloves. Metamorphosis. Transform into a demon, increasing armor by 500%, reducing the chance you will be critically hit by 6%, increasing your threat by 100%, increasing mana gained from life tap by 100%, transforming the functions of some of your abilities. That's on gloves. Searing Pain, now instant. Shadow Bolt becomes Shadow Cleave, a shadow melee attack that hits up to 3 enemies, but has a 6-second cooldown. Curse of Rack is now your taunt. Demon Charge. Charge an enemy and stun it for 1 second, can be used in combat. Cannot be used in combat. Demonic Howl. Forces all nearby enemies to focus attack on you, so an AoE taunt too. Pretty fucking dope. Transform into a demon and you just sit as a demon. Shadow Bolt Volley. Your Shadow Bolt now strikes up to 5 targets within a chain distance of 10 yards, but for 20 reduced damage. So this is not really good for raids. Unless you're playing with Chaos Bolt that doesn't have a fucking cooldown, that is. Sending a bolt of Chaos Fire, of Chaotic Fire at the enemy, dealing fire damage. Oh, it actually does fire damage, not chaos damage. Chaos Bolt always hits, cannot be resistant, its knowledge causes all your fire spells to pierce through the absorption effect. Its knowledge causes all your fire spells to pierce through absorption effects. If you have Chaos Bolt runed into your gear, you now have your fire damage becomes chaos damage. Pierces through absorption effects. That's fucking sick. I'm not really sure when do you go for Shadow Bolt Volley though now. Master Channeler, Everlasting Affliction, and Shadow Bolt Volley, top array DPS without even trying. What are you gonna do single target? Probably swap to Chaos Bolt with another gear set. Or mid raid, you will have to be just juggling these runes. I'm wondering if we're gonna get tired of doing this though. I wonder if we're actually gonna get exhausted from juggling the runes so much in the raids. It's easy to switch though. Well, pre-level 25 we have 3 gear pieces that require us to switch runes. Azerite pieces all over again, Torana, just this time it fits the class. Aren't these just the runes they're willing to show us? There are a lot of still unknown. Yeah, we're just talking about through the lens of up until level 25 at this point. Haunt unleashes a ghostly soul on an enemy, dealing 108, 127 damage, and increasing all shadow damage every time you deal to the target by 20%. Well, this one is just, I don't even know, like Affliction Warlocks. Probably could be big. But depends on whether Master Channeler is going to be huge damage-wise. Increasing all shadow damage taken. There shouldn't be AoE and single target runes in the same slot, to be honest, because they force you to change. There will be, and there's going to be a lot of them. We're going to have to change. Holy fuck, we're getting down to Warrior, man. I think we have gone through. Warlock Runes, so far, look fucking amazing, I gotta say. It's so dope. You can play as a Shadow, you can play as a Fire, you can play as a Tank, and you can play through Utility Warlock. You could go... I'm just not really understanding where the fuck do you use Soul Siphon Rune. This doesn't have like a reasonable application from what I'm seeing. Expose Weakness. Your ranged critical increase attack power by 40% of your current agility for 7 seconds. Your ranged critical increase your attack power by 40% of your agility for 7 seconds. Every class over Warrior, Tommy. Thank you for reminding me that I'm fucking in deep shit. Once again. Dude, Expose Weakness. Your attack power by 40%. Oh, wait a second. 40% of your current agility? Hold up. I thought that was a flat increase. How much strength do I have at 60? That's what I want to see. Opa. Let me check my stats real quick. No, dude, like I'm sitting at 363 strength. So I reckon the hunters are going to be sitting at like 400 max, 440%. You're getting 200 attack power increase for 7 seconds. Critical strike. I mean, that's still good. That's like Blood Fury. That ain't bad. If this is specified as attack power, does this apply to ranged attack power as well in the hunter scenario? Because I assume it would. I kind of think it's both. It would be kind of like fucked because it implicitly states ranged critical, so I assume ranged attack power. It would be a fucking joke otherwise. Master Marksman. Increase your critical strike chance by 5% and reduce the mana cost of all your shots abilities by 25%. Big. But is it as big as Lone Wolf? Attack power and gear increases both. Oh, so whenever it distinctly specified that it increases ranged attack power, then it only applies to ranged attack power. But if it states attack power overall, then it applies to the ranged one as well. Alright. Lone Wolf, you deal 25% increased damage with all attacks while you do not have an active pet. This rune right here single-handedly made me want to play a goddamn fucking hunter in Classic. I wanted to have like the fucking Rexar vibe, because primarily the classes that I always wanted to play in vanilla or just in WoW in general were classes that orcs could roll, that an orc could rock. So for me it was either Orc Warrior, which I played fucking everywhere, Fairlina Orc Warrior, Firemaw Orc Warrior, Dragonflight Season 1 Orc Warrior, Magora Tournament HC Orc Warrior. Did I miss something? Wrath of the Lich King TBC Orc Warrior. So much for versatility. But I was also about to consider a Shaman at some point. I was really close to rocking an Enhancement Shaman. I thought that with Orc and Sham would be a fucking juicer to play. But now, since Warlocks can rock without pets and be a tank, maybe they still have a fucking pet, I don't know. But I always wanted to play Orc Warlock, Orc Shaman, and Orc Hunter. Only in case if the Hunter was played without a pet. This motherfucker allows just that. You are not picking Master Marksman like ever. Unless, I'm not really sure, like Beast Mastery, if you're playing Beast Mastery, then these are some solid picks. Cobra Strikes. Your critical hits with shot abilities cause your 2 pets next to special attacks to critically hit 2. What the hell? These are some good options. The worst one, now that I look at it, the worst one, it feels like Exposed Weakness is the worst one. Crit chance by 5% and reduce mana cost by abilities, dope, but if you're talking BM, I'm not sure what the value is of Cobra Strikes in comparison to critical strike chance, because this critical strike chance doesn't give your pet critical strike chance, you know? If you're soloing, if you're leveling, I guess Master Marksman is your call. You want a bigger crit strike chance, I'd say, and you want to preserve more mana so you have less downtime. Sounds like the option to me. Let's go next. Legs. Kill command gives the command to kill. Increase your pet's damage down for special attacks by 60% for 30 seconds. Each special attack done by the pet reduces damage bonus by 20. Big burst. Sniper training. Your shot abilities gain 30% increased critical strike chance while you have not moved for the last 6 seconds. What the fuck? There's not a shot in hell there's gonna be any hunter ability that's gonna give you more damage output than sniper training. 30% crit! Imagine you're like in the worst fucking gear possible. In the worst one. In the raid. And you're sitting at 30% increased critical strike chance. You're almost as good as the mage. Because mage has like, what, inherently 15% crit chance from their fucking... What's it called? Burnout? What do I get? What do I get as a warrior? A dick in a box? Man. Serpent Spread. Target hits by your multi-shot are also affected by your Serpent Sting for 6 seconds. Juice, but where the fuck are we gonna do this? Huh? I guess you're not... actually juicy. That is gonna be so fun, dude. Night Elf Hunters, just like somebody's pathing through Felwood to get the Whipper Tuber up their ass. You just stealth at a fucking Night Elf Hunter and just snipe the fuck out of him. Oof. Dude, going up from stealth into a big one big fucking hit. That's insane. Dude, this is insane. I fucking love this. Oh my god. Like, how do you not play a hunter? How do you not have a hunter alt with these things? Serpent Spread, Biss for cleave. Sniper training, Biss single target, kill command, BM, flanking strike, you and your pet deal simultaneously instant 100% melee damage. Afterward, you, Mongoose Bite, and Raptor Strike deal 10% increased damage over 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Raptor Strike has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of flanking strikes. What the fuck? Dude, melee hunter, I forgot that this is a thing. Also a melee hunter. Also, one more reasons why none of the fucking groups that I'm gonna be hosting are gonna have a hunter too. I don't give a shit how you look on the meters. You're not snatching my one-handers. That's a fucking fact. Imagine once you get this as a hunt, instantly clears the cooldown of aimed shot, multi-shot, volley, and arcane shot. What is the cooldown of an aimed shot? legit melee hunter or weaving. Nah, that is straight up an option for a melee hunter. Flanking strike is the first rune that I'm seeing that enables the melee hunter. This is the first one. Like, man, warrior seems to shit now. I know, but that's only level 25. I guess they have all the good stuff packed after 25. As a warrior, I'm confident they have something good in store for me. Flanking strike, the first one that enables the melee hunter. So if you're playing a melee, ayo, stop. We all know that we got good things packing for us at level 40 or some shit. There's some shit cooking up at level 50. There's some real good stuff at level 60 endgame. For a exposed weakness, your ranged critical strikes increase your attack power, so you cannot really rock this as a melee hunter. Increase your critical strike chance and reduces the mana cost of your shot abilities by 25, so you cannot really use this as a melee hunter as well, because only for the crit chance benefit, but not for the mana cost. Increases the deal you deal fucking shit. You deal 25% increased damage with all attacks while you do not have an active pet. So if you're a melee hunter, what the fuck do you pack here? There's only Lone Wolf. But Flanking Strike says you and your pet deal simultaneous instant 100% melee damage. So you sacrifice your pet, Petski? Your broski? Your little bro is gonna go? Dude, melee hunter actually sounds kind of fucking nuts. That's interesting. But do they have something on gloves for them? Beast Mastery. Your pet's damage and health are increased by 30% and its focus regeneration by 80. In addition, your pet's growl now also taunts the target to attack it for 3 seconds. Damage and health. Your pet's damage and health. So BM stuff, but let's see if there's anything better for BM. You deal 125% weapon damage, refreshing the current sting on your target and triggering the effect. Serpent Sting instantly deals 40% of the damage done by your Serpent Sting, refreshing the current sting on your target and triggering the effect. Vapors increase instantly restores mana to equal 6% of the total amount drained. Okay. I remember this from TBC or like from somewhere like later expansions, but Scorpion Sting attempts to disarm the target for 10 seconds. This effect can occur more than once per 1 minute. Jesus fuck, they get a ranged disarm? Well, I mean, this PvP, obviously. Explosive Shot. You fire an explosive charge into the enemy target, dealing fire damage. This charge will blast the target every second for an additional 2 seconds. Cooldown shared with Arcane Shot. A sweeping attack that strikes all enemies in front of you for 50% of weapon damage. For melee hunters. Carve. It's kind of nice. But if that's all that the melee hunter is getting, I'm not really sure if that constitutes a good melee hunter build. So as a melee hunter, you get like a cleave, you get flanking strike that can sometimes reset. Actually, this reset is huge. Raptor Strike has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of flanking strike. And after you flanking strike, your Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike deals 10% increased damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So you actually have buttons to spam. And you got Lone Wolf here. So at level 25, you do have some abilities. For a raid, as a marksman, you're going this. As a Beastmaster, I'm not sure if pet's damage output by 30%. Increases your pet's damage and health by 30% and its focus regeneration by 80%. I guess this is huge for BM. I actually thought this was a big cooldown. This is not a big cooldown. This is a passive Beast Mastery. So this is a must for BM. Chimera Shot, I guess PvP angle, and Explosive Shot, raid. Carve, melee hunter. I'd say hunters look decent, like very, very decent. Especially MM is fucking dangerous as hell. That shit is sniper training. You get fucking critical strike chance increased by 30%. Along with Lone Wolf, you deal 25% increased damage. Let's see if this is gonna be the time for me to make a fucking orc rogue for Season of Destruction. Discovery, man. Holy shit. Deadly Brew. When you inflict any other poison on a target, you can inflict deadly poison. I don't know what kind of portion deadly poison constitutes in the damage output that the rogue has. Just a Flesh Wound is the rune for the chest that enables you to be a tank. Deadly Brew, so you can have another poison up. Just a Flesh Wound. You take 20% reduced physical damage while Blade Dance is active. While Blade Dance is active? How long does it last? Wait, what? That's the wrong Blade Dance. I think this is... Wait, what? As long as Blade Dance is active? Blade Dance is another rune, huh? Yeah, because it seems like it's TBC. I'm confusing it with Blade Flurry. I was thinking like, holy shit, so you would have it up and sometimes it would be down, so you would be a tank but not 100% uptime. So yeah, you have 6% reduced chance to be a critical hit by melee attacks, and threat generated by your actions is massively increased, and your feint ability is replaced with Tease, which taunts the target. Tease taunts the target to attack you, but has no effect that the target is already attacking you. Cool. Tank Rogue, here, just a Flesh Wound. Deadly Brew, damage output on a Rogue, I guess, or a PvP one. Quick Draw. Draw your ranged weapon and fire a quick shot at an enemy, causing normal ranged weapon damage, and reduces the target's speed by 50 20% for 6 seconds. Awards 1 combo point. Holy shit. Quick draw benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify Sinister Strike. Don't know if you would pick it over Deadly Brew to have 2 poisons up. And the last one is Slaughter from the Shadows. Reduce the energy cost of your backstab and ambush abilities by 20. Does not apply to Mutilate. So just permanently? Backstab and ambush abilities by 20. So I guess this is Biz Forever PvE. Deadly Brew PvP option. Quick Draw PvP option. 2 legitimate PvP options. And just a Flesh Wound tank one. That's kind of narrow. That is a narrow selection for chest. For rogues, I'd say. For all 3 specs, not really much to play with. You always go for the same one for PvE. Not a rogue player, so I don't really understand the true value of Deadly Brew here, but I guess it's immense. Okay, legs. Legs has Rogue Leg Runes up to level 25, only has 3 options. Between the Eyes, ranged finishing move that causes damage per point increased by attack power and stuns the target for 5 seconds. A ranged 5-second stun, yeah? Some combat rogue angle, as well with quick draw. That is gonna be so fun to see. We are getting a different feel for the rogue, same as Hunter is gonna be a melee hunter. We're gonna have a ranged rogue, dude, in Classic. That is fucking dope. I don't give a shit about stuns because I'm an orc player, so it's whatever the fuck, you know? Mages can suck a dick for all I know. Blade Dance. I think this what the reference was from Just a Flesh Wound. Blade Dance. Now, when Blade Dance is active, finishing move that increases your parry chance, lasts longer and grants you more parry chance per combo point. 5 points, 30 seconds. You must have Blade Dance, uptime perma if you're tanking as a rogue. That is fucking interesting, dude. I want to play a tanking rogue, dude. Like, holy shit, you parry, you ramp up with parry haste constantly. This seems like fucking great, dude. Holy shit. Blade Dance. Versus melees, though, I will not like fighting a rogue in melee, though. As a warrior, no longer. Dude, holy shit, there's gotta be a lot of parry chance. Unless we stun him and hit him in the back with intercept. And then Venom, finishing move that deals instant poison damage based on your deadly poison doses on the target. Following the Venom attack, you have 70% increased frequency of applying instant poison for 1 second. Is there a rogue in chat right now? There's a rogue in the chat. Oh wow. There we go. Would you use Envenom over Eviscerate, or when would you? Against warriors? Oh, because it would pierce through armor. I see. Give me a second. Mutilate. Instantly attacks with both weapons for 100% weapon damage plus an additional 20 for with each weapon. Damage is increased by 20% against poison targets. Awards 2 combo points. Well, it sounds like Giga for both PvE and PvP, but then again, we have to look at through the prism of comparison with Shadow Strike teleports behind your target and strikes causing 100% weapon damage to the target. Must be stealthed. PvP versus ranged Shadow Strike. Mutilate, I guess both so far seems like Biz PvP PvE. Saber Slash. How the fuck, what like does this have to have in the next 3 runes for it to be outweighing Mutilate or Shadow Strike? I cannot even imagine. Viciously slash an enemy for 130% weapon damage and cause the target to bleed for 12 seconds, stacking up to 3 times awards 1 combo point. Shiv. Instantly attack with your offhand weapon to deal normal offhand weapon damage with a 100% chance to apply the poison from your offhand weapon to the target. Slowest weapon requires more energy. Slower weapons requires more energy. Once 1 combo point. Shiv benefits from all talents and effects and trigger more modified Sinister Strike. Main Goosh? The fuck? Gouch? Main Gouch? Instantly strike with your offhand weapon for normal offhand weapon damage. Increase your chance to parry by 10%. Oh. Okay, tank. Yeah, but yeah, you actually have a really big trade-off for PvP as well, right? You have Shiv, Shadow Strike, and Mutilate. They are fucking you over, rogues, here, instead of placing one of these into fucking legs. At least pre-level 25, that is. Yeah, against Mutilate, because if you have a Feral, then you would have Mangle applied. So Saber Slash is gonna be trucking for a tons. Well, we'll see what rogues cook up with, but I do think they have a lot to choose from on Gloves department. This looks like big combo point gen, especially with Mangle. Mutilate is just straight up like two fucking combo points per hit. Shadow Strike versus ranged PvP, if you need to have uptime. This is when you need distance. And this Mutilate versus like warriors, I guess, would work well. But then again, Saber Slash, you could actually kite them too with bleeds. I don't know, there's so many options, man, holy fuck. I actually didn't know how fucking much it costs. That's what we don't have. We don't have like the costs at spells unless we like watch Guzu's or Sven's perspective or Sony's on what the spells actually are. I don't even know what the price is. 60 energy, that's fucking pricey. So I guess you don't really want to trade for Mutilate for daggers and Saber Slash for sword? Yeah, because you need to have a big weapon, yeah? Saber Slash. That is kind of nuts. Yeah, it's kind of intuitive too, because you do need Vanish for Shadow Strike to work. So whenever you Vanish, you instantly gotta like be behind him. So it's either like good against a Hunter or a Mage. If you go for Saber Slash, it looks like this is the ability that you're gonna be using instead of Sinister Strike. Oh, it even says here, Saber Slash benefits from all talents and effects that trigger from or modify Sinister Strike. Dude, Combat Rogue? I could see myself playing a Combat Rogue. Shit, that is nuts. Saber Slash. I like the bleed fact and the fact that you actually can stack up 3 times. I like this PvE angle a lot. Saber Slash. I can envision myself playing one. Shamans. Dual wield spec. Increase your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding, and your Storm Strike ability now hits with weapons while dual wielding. You wanna tell me that the Shamans are gonna have 5% chance to hit instantly? While I have to like use stupid ass rings and ranged weapons to even build up to like have enough? I'm not a fan of dual wield spec for Shamans. I much more enjoy enhancement Shamans and classic wielding a big chunker and then swinging it 3 times in a row. That's what I enjoy. I don't like this dual wield Shaman bullshit. Maybe in PvE it's gonna be fun, but for PvP I always loved to see Seedu rock up to somebody and just smash him on the fucking head with a big chunker. That's why I wanted to play two-hander enhanced. I could see myself zogging with a big two-hander X as well, but not with the small ones, man. Not so much with the small ones. Maybe in Classic it might feel actually really good. Shield Mastery. Each time you block, you regenerate mana equal to 4% of your maximum mana, and you gain armor equal to 30% of your shield's armor value, stacking up to 5 times. You also gain 10% increased chance to block and 15% chance block value. Okay, so obvious one. This is situative. What is Overload? This is probably elemental one. Give you a lightning bolt, chain lightning, chain heal, healing wave, and lava burst. A spell 33% chance to cast a second similar spell on the same target. Oh, additional cost. That causes half the damage or healing and no threat. Over fucking load in Classic. Imagine elemental shamans and fucking BGs. Holy shit. Double chain lightning. It's gonna be 50%, but regardless, holy shit. That's big. I'm pretty sure dual wield spec as an end is still gonna feel pumpy. In the way Wind Fury works in Classic, I think this is gonna be really juicy in PvE. Pretty straightforward runes for the chest so far. Healing Rain. Select the area 15 yards around the target player and heal all the target party members within that area for 20 seconds. Probably very rarely, sometimes when there's a very big raid-wide damage happening, you would go for Healing Rain, but overall I see healers, I see Rasta Shamans sticking with Overload throughout the whole duration of like pretty much any encounters. Dungeons, raids that don't have like raid-wide damage done, then Healing Rain is just not going to be an option. My concern over here is the fact that if you're playing a two-hander enhance, the classic one, do you guys see anything pre-level 25 that is like makes any sense? Overload is the only thing. I mean, unless you're up against a warrior or a rogue and you go Shield Mastery for PvP. But yeah, but a two-hander enhancer, not really good runes so far. Ancestral Guidance. For the next 10 seconds, 25% of your damage is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby party members, and 100% of your healing is converted to damage on your most recent Flame Shark target. Ooh. Now that's fucking interesting. I really like this talent because it incentivizes like more Rasta Shaman gameplay. Trying to mix in more damage while doing more heals. That's looking dope. And protects the target with an earthen shield, reducing casting and channeling time lost when damaged by 30% and causes attacks to heal the shielded target by 100. I'm not really sure about the value of this one. Against like very heavy mitigation fights. Way of Earth is the tanking rune. While Rockbiter weapon is active on your main hand weapon, you deal 100% increased threat, gain 30% increased health, take 10% reduced damage, gain 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, and Earth Shock taunts targets enemies to attack you and has a separate cooldown from other shock spells but has a range reduced to melee range. Way of Earth plus Shield Mastery so far, you have like 2 for the tank. Against a warrior in the duels, gonna be low-key nutty. Gonna have fun fucking cutting through this one in the tournament. Shamanistic Rage. Reduce all damage you take by 20% and you regenerate mana every second for 15 seconds. Mana regenerated per second is equal to 50% of your attack power, 10% of your spell power, or 6% of your healing power, whichever value is greatest. What if I'm playing Enhance? If I'm playing Enhance, I'm going Shamanistic Rage. If I'm playing Ellie, I'm going Shamanistic Rage. If I'm going Resto, I'm playing Ancestral Guidance, unless it's a big mitigation fight. We go Earth Shield. If you're playing tank, you're playing tank. Hypothetically, you know what I'm thinking? You don't necessarily need, if you're playing like more or less easy content, say if you're playing Scarlet Monastery Library, and you're going in as a Shaman tank. You pick up Way of Earth, but you could go as well dual wield spec, and you could just like Fury prod this shit. Fuck do you need a shield for? It's kind of like you gain 30% of your shield's armor value, stacking up to 5 times. PvE, you go Shamanistic Rage, and like PvP, you can go with shield. Last one, Water Shield. The caster is surrounded by 3 globes of water, gaining 1% of max mana per 5 seconds. When a spell, melee, or range attack hits, 4% is restored. This expands A on Water Globe. Only 1 glove will be activated after every few seconds. Glove? Only 1 glove will be activated every globe. I think that's what I meant. You hurl molten lava at the target, dealing big damage. If you flame shotgun this other target, lava burst will be a critical strike. I don't know, that's an LM, bro. You're selecting between Water Shield and Lava Burst. And you charge your off-weapon with lava, instantly dealing 100% offhand weapon damage. Damage is increased by 20% if your offhand weapon is enchanted with Flame Tongue. Ankh's needed this. If you're dual wielding, that is. Molten Blast. Blast enemies in a cone in front of you for mediocre damage, I guess. This ability generates a high amount of threat. Flame Shock periodic damage has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown on Molten Blast. Dude, Shaman tanks looks fucking nutty. I like this. Ooh, that I like. That's some good shit right there. Resetting the Molten Blast and keeping spamming, like just keep spamming this one. Man, holy shit, these classes. I love how it looks. I love how everything looks except for Warrior so far. But Lava Burst is Ellie. 100%. Like, this is such a chunker. Water Shield, you go Resto. Lava Lash Ankh, Molten Blast Tank. Pretty straightforward. Where would an LM take Water Shield? I guess versus some fucking mana drain scenarios. My concern so far from this Shaman rune page so far is up until level 20, they're disregarding the two-hander enhancement. That's how it's supposed to be played in Classic. They're leaning towards two-hander, tank, LM, and Resto, but they're leaning towards more dual spec, towards dual wield. There's not a single talent that benefits a two-hander enhancer in any way, directly. You can't take Lava Lash here, so you're gonna be playing like with the Water Shield so far. Paladins. Big Pogo class. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Fills you with Holy Spirit for 30 seconds, causing each of your melee attacks to deal 30% weapon damage to up to 3 nearby targets. But you lose health equal to 10% of damage inflicted, which seals active. Your party members within 40 yards each gain mana equal to the damage you take. Dude, we finally got down to like reading through the most boring class ever that exists in fucking WoW. To me, like Paladin and then like Druid. Paladin is the worst, then like followed up by a Druid. I can't even like it feels disrespectful to Druids to even put them next to the Paladin. I don't want to have anyone like near the Paladin. Paladin is like worst in slot class ever to exist in the game, and nothing even comes closer. Druid is much more fun than that. Fuck that shit. That's good though for the casters, and the cost of equal to 10% damage inflicted. Seal of Martyrdom. We need that Paladin in raids though. Do we though? We hoard. We don't need him. Maybe we can like mind control one into it. Mind control the Paladin, invite him to the raid and keep him there. He cannot leave. Divine Storm. An instant weapon attack that causes 100% damage up to 4 enemies in 8 yards. The Divine Storm heals up to 3 party or raid members, totaling 25% of the damage cost. Horn of Lordaeron. The Paladin blows the Horn of Lordaeron, which increases total strength and agility of all party members within 30 yards by 17. Less 2 minutes. Exclusive with Blessing of Might. Paladin can blow some dick, and he's gonna buff the whole raid for like 17 strength and agility? That's all it takes? Nice. Totem of agility and strength. Okay, what is gonna be the answer on Horde side for Blessing of Might and Blessing of Kings? Am I tripping or what? Or aren't we supposed to be getting something on the Horde side? Roll Alliance? Bullshit. Aegis. Increase your block value by 30% and damaging melee and range attacks against you have a 10% chance to increase your chance to block by 30%. Last 10 seconds or 5 blocks. Effects not cumulative with Redoubt. Oh my god. Like Horn of Lordaeron seems like something that you have to swap out constantly before every single pull. I mean, obviously Aegis you go for like, you know, tanking stuff, Horn of Lordaeron. All of this has utility, right? Divine Storm heals, but it's whatever. Nobody gives a shit about this. Seal of Martyrdom. Everybody gives a shit about this because it's mana regen. And how much mana we're gonna be consuming as casters in Season of Destruction. Fucking Discovery. That's gonna be fucking nuts. Seal of Martyr seems like 99% chance to pick. This seems like the type of paladin that we all hate. This is something that probably like McConnell would pick or some shit. Martyrdom, 99% of the time you pick Horn of Lordaeron, everybody's gonna be like min-maxing gear to pre-pop it before every single pull. Next, Legs, Divine Sacrifice. All damage, 30% of all damage taken by party, redirected to Paladin. Damage which reduces the Paladin below 20%. will break the effect. 10% increased damage and healing down for 10 seconds. Divine Sacrifice. So I'm thinking like Holy Paladin and a tank. On raid-wide damage fights. Inspiration Exemplar. Your inspiring presence periodically dispels fear and sleeping effects on nearby party members. Ah, so it's like a walking tremor. Huh. What else? What else? What does Horde get? Avenger's Shield. Hurls a holy shield at the enemy, dealing holy damage, dazing them, and then jumping to nearby enemies. Exorcism can now be cast on any target and has 100% increased critical strike chance against undead and demon. Rebuke. Interrupts spellcasting and prevents any spell in that school from being cast for 2 seconds. Some Shockedin stuff. PvP. Tank. A walking tremor totem. And Holy Paladin, and I guess tanks too. Divine Sac. Exorcism for rats. For PV. Next. Gloves. Oh shit, we're done. Jesus. The target becomes a beacon of light to all members of your party or raid within a 60-yard radius. Any heals you cast on a party or raid member will also heal the beacon of light. Crusader Strike, Hand of Reckoning. Taunts the target to attack you, but has no effect if the target is already attacking. Okay, while you know this ability, the threat bonus from Righteous Fury is increased to 80%, and Righteous Fury causes you... Wait, what? Threat bonus from Righteous Fury is increased to 80%. And Righteous Fury causes you gain mana when healed by others equal to 25% of the amount healed. Additionally, while Righteous Fury is active, damage which takes you below 35% health is reduced by 20%. Fucking hell. That's a big fat boy. That is a big one, and that pretty much covers it then. That's all the classes for Season of Discovery. That's all the runes. Holy shit, it took me how much? 3 fucking hours to read through this shit? My concern is with this one, Hand of Reckoning. Why is this a thing, and why is Righteous Fury... The threat bonus from Righteous Fury is increased to 80%. Increases the threat generated by your holy attacks by 60%. Wow, that, like, dude, being a paladin sucks so much. In order to tank, you actually have to fucking... Is this an aura or is this a buff? If this is a buff, dude, like, reapplying all the shit every time must be so much hassle. What are you going to roll based on what you've read, Karanti? Good question. Probably with the thing that sucks the most, which is the warrior. Because I just love the classman so much. But, dude, I gotta say, this is probably the time where I'm gonna have alts. I have not been so excited ever to play an Ant Shaman. A Warlock. I cannot say a Priest, no. Mage, no. Not a Druid. Druid tank seems kind of fucking dope. I could see myself being a bear. I could see myself playing a big boy, a big fat boy. Warlock Runes seemed fucking dope as hell. I really liked the Lake of Fire angle on the lock. Playing a Firelock Shadowbolt Valley opens up such a good angle for Warlock 2. Warrior, Lock, Hunter without a pet. Oh my god, I don't know, Combat Rogue? Seems good, seems like playing with this shit. Tank Rogue, amazing. Saber / Rogue? Come the fuck on, like what do I pick? Shaman dual wield spec. Like, as much as I love enhancement shamans to be two-hander wielders, but bro, dual wield, Wind Fury procs? Imagine, dual wield, Wind Fury procs and classic. And paladins, big pogo. Big NMP lol class. Who the fuck gives a shit? Oh my god, like this is the only thing that I don't give a shit about. Is this one here? And this one here. Druid, like, almost. Druid, almost. Almost made me want to play a Druid. Priest, fuck knows. Warlock. Warlock, Warrior, Solo Hunter, Combat Rogue, Shaman, Enhance. This really clicks with me. Saber / Rogue here. Tank Rogue. Just because I was really like into Rift back in the day. I remember seeing Rogue tanks in dungeons and it looked so damn fucking sexy, man. Holy shit. God damn it, man. I don't know, like, it's a tough one. But then again, dude, playing Lone Wolf with an aim shot that hits from God knows fucking where. A little Rexar action. How long the level 25 phase will stay? A few weeks, they said, that they're gonna keep it. I bet that they're gonna keep level 25 for like a month. Then we're gonna go to level 40. They're gonna keep it at level 40 for maybe a month is gonna be too much. Maybe 3 weeks. But I think 3 weeks, 1 month tops. 1 month at level 25 seems kind of like an overkill. I think 3 weeks would be good. 3 weeks, then level 40, 3 weeks, and level 50, maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks too. I personally would not mind a month, but I can see how it could be getting repetitive and redundant a little bit. Warrior talents though, I don't know. I don't know about warrior talents, man. Do you think it will get some cool mounts? I honestly would be very, very pro them adding a low chance of a mount drop in every single dungeon in Classic. If we had Stratholm type of vibe in every single dungeon, like... just give me some purpose, you know, to hit one of these dungeons, help out others get gear, but for me it's gonna be the 0.0.0.01% chance of fucking some rare drop. You know, you gotta be chasing some shit. Maybe like some giga rare, like Iron Foe equivalents in every single run. You know, fun, like who gives a shit if it's like, if it sucks, you know? If you're hitting Maraudon, and Maraudon actually is a bad idea. Maraudon does have something really good. What about Zul'Farrak? Zul'Farrak has dick. Why would I hit Zul'Farrak ever? If somebody wants loot, why would I actually go for ZF? So, like, you know, South Race, that's a Dan's game fucking weapon for a warrior. After level 40, I do think that every single dungeon should have like some sort of an epic. Even like Scarlet Monastery, I think screw it. After Scarlet Monastery, GY, even GY should drop like a little amulet, a little rare neck. Like a BOE one that is giga fucking rare. Nobody wants to hit fucking SMGY. Anyone else think finding the rune part is unnecessary? I think it's really dope, to be honest, Serena. But I do think that if you find a rune, it should be account-wide. You shouldn't be like looking for it, because it's gonna be like a tedious grind, I guess, on alts. It's like same shit with retail, right? You don't want to go through like the same mandatory processes multiple times if you've done it once. Same shit like with the story, with the campaign. I mean, tedious grind is BIS, but just there's plenty of things to grind. Aside from that, that's what I'm saying, like a tedious grind of like getting a rare or like a fucking epic drop in every single dungeon that you have like past like level 25. Past like maybe level 30. A 0.0 fucking % chance that there's gonna be something dropping there, so people are, you know, occupied and farming that shit. That'd be fucking dope. You think DM and Wailing Caverns are gonna drop different gear? It's possible. I wouldn't mind them putting more gear into DM and Wailing Caverns. That's not better, but that's a little bit more alternative to what you like potentially could get. Holy fucking orc is dead. Oh shit! That's a lot of people. Was a lot of people. Fuck you, bitch. I saw you were with him. You were chilling with him, bitch! Fuck out of here! These bozos are killing Horde, ambushing them in Felwood, running rampant, while Big Gorthax is playing some HC. I'm out here now. I'm the hunter. We hunting now, boys. Firemore is getting back under control. Sup, bitch. Oh, fuck off with your... Dude, getting a little bit annoying now. Why people on this server still? I think some of them are raiding. Definitely not PvPing.